beautiful soul. It's Miss K here, and I welcome you all to the very first official episode of my podcast. If you're new here today, I welcome you with a big, warm virtual hug. And if you have already listened to me before, I am so grateful that you're back. I can see if you're here today, you're not here by accident. You're here because something in you maybe resonated with this topic, even if you don't know much about it yet. And you know what? I promise you, by the end of this episode, you're going to see the world and yourself in a completely different way. Today, we are diving into something that honestly has fascinated me my whole life. It's one of those topics that's both scientific and deeply spiritual, one that connects modern physics with ancient wisdom. We're diving into something that is the foundation of life itself, and that's energy. And when I say energy, I don't just mean some vague spiritual word people throw around. I mean energy in its truest form. The energy that makes up you, me, this mic, the air between us. Literally everything. Energy is life, energy is existence, and without it, nothing would be here. We're going to explore vibrations, frequencies, chakras, auras, and yes, how even quantum physics is starting to validate things that spiritual traditions like Sanatan Dharma have been saying for thousands of years. So let's start at the very basics. Imagine you're holding a chair. It feels solid, right? But if you zoom in, like really zoom in with a microscope, you'll see atoms. And inside those atoms, you'll see protons, neutrons, and electrons just spinning around. And if you zoom even deeper, science tells us those particles are not even solid little marbles. They are energy waves. At the tiniest level, everything is just vibrating energy. Matter itself isn't really just solid. It's just condensed energy. I mean, isn't that so mind-blowing to even know? At the most fundamental level, what looks solid is just energy vibrating at different frequencies. You, me, the phone you're listening on, the food you eat, even your thoughts and emotions, all of it is energy. Now think about that for a second. If energy is the base of everything, then understanding it means understanding life itself. In fact, a study published in Nature in 2019 used something called quantum field theory to show how even empty space isn't actually empty. It's buzzing with quantum energy fields. Imagine that for a second. The very space around you that you think is empty is alive with invisible vibrations. Holy freak, isn't that the most mind-blowing abstract piece of research? And what does that mean for us? It means energy isn't just some abstract concept. It's the invisible thread weaving through everything we experience. It's the base of life itself. Now, I want to back this up with actual science. There was a study published in Nature Physics that showed something fascinating. Particles exist as a probability, like a wave, until they are observed, and then they appear as a particle. This is called the observer effect in quantum mechanics. What does that mean for us? It means that reality itself responds to observation. Your consciousness, your awareness, interacts with energy. Ancient spiritual texts said this thousands of years ago, but now quantum physics is literally proving that the universe is not a fixed dead thing. It's alive, dynamic, and influenced by awareness. This actually has led scientists to seriously question the role of consciousness in shaping reality. Does that mean your thoughts, your focus, actually influence the physical world? Ancient texts like the Upanishads in Sanatan Dharma exactly said this: Yad vavam tad vavati. You become what you believe. Thousands of years ago, they taught that thought shapes reality. And now, quantum physics is hinting at the same thing. Think about manifestation for a second. People think it's just some law of attraction trend. But at its root, It's about directing your focus, your observation, and your energy. Science has shown us that energy is responsive to observation. That's not just philosophy, that's physics. Okay, so now let's talk about vibrations and frequencies. Every single thing vibrates. The human body, for example, has measurable frequencies. Researchers at the NIH found that the average healthy human body resonates between 62 to 72 megahertz. And when that frequency drops, let's say due to stress or poor diet, negative emotions, the body becomes more vulnerable to illness. Even emotions carry different frequencies. Dr. David Hawkins, in his famous book Power versus Force, measured emotional frequencies. Love vibrates high, joy vibrates higher. Fear, guilt, same, they vibrate low. So when people say, keep your vibes high, it sounds like, a TikTok catchphrase. But it's actually backed by measurable science. You're literally tuning the frequency of your own body, your aura, and the energy you radiate. Now, this brings us to the world of chakras and auras. Chakras are the energy centers in your body. If you've ever felt a lump in your throat when you couldn't speak your truth, or the heaviness in your chest when your heart is broken, that's your energy center being affected. Ancient Sanatan Dharma texts mapped out 7 major chakras thousands of years ago. And here's the crazy part. Modern science is now finding that these chakra points actually align with major nerve plexuses and endocrine glands in the body. In Vedic philosophy, energy is mapped out in what we call chakras. These are energy centers in your body from the root at the base of your spine all the way up to your crown at the top of your head. Each chakra represents a frequency, a vibration, a different layer of your life experience. So, the throat chakra, it aligns with the thyroid. The heart chakra, it aligns with the thymus and cardiac plexus. This isn't just mystical fantasy, It's your biology and your energy overlapping. I'll give you an example of it. The heart chakra isn't just about, love in a romantic way. It's literally the center of compassion, empathy, and connection. And guess what? Studies from the Institute of Heart Math have actually measured that your heart produces an electromagnetic field that extends several feet outside of your body, meaning your heart's energy influences the people around you. HeartMath researchers also found out that the heart's magnetic field is about 100 times stronger than the brain's electrical activity. Think about that. Your emotions, your stress, your love, all of it radiates physically from you into the space around you. Which means when people talk about, good vibes or bad vibes, it's not just poetry. It's measurable science. When I was doing research and I came across this particular piece, my whole mind blew. I had some knowledge prior to this regarding the electromagnetic field of human aura, but I didn't know specific organ of our body emits specific electromagnetic field that interacts with the matter around us. Like that single thing made me realize that we are a sack of magic. And let's never take ourselves or any of the existence in the whole universe for granted. That brings me to aura. Many people think aura is some aesthetic woo-woo kind of idea, but science has started to explore this as well. The aura is essentially the energy field your body projects. And while some traditions describe it in colors, frequencies, or layers, science looks at it as the electromagnetic field produced by your body. A study published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine found that people trained in energy healing could actually sense differences in energy fields, which were later verified using sensitive biofeedback devices. That's wild. It means the idea of an aura isn't just folklore, it has measurable effects. I also happened to just finish reading Anatomy of Spirit by Caroline Myss. If you've been somewhat following me in my social medias, particularly Instagram, I've been posting about this book a lot. It's my go to book when it comes to spirituality and learning about the electromagnetic field your body possesses. And oh my god, it completely blew my mind. Caroline is this medical intuitive, which basically means she can literally sense illness and emotional blockages just by reading someone's energy field or aura. Like, she doesn't even need to know your medical history. She just tunes into your energy and can pick up on where something's off in your body or spirit. Isn't that wild? Like that piece of information just completely changed my perspective on how I view a human body or any person. The whole book is about how our spirit, emotions, and health are all totally connected. She ties it with seven different chakras and explain how every single one of them is linked to different areas of our life: relationships, self-esteem, creativity, even faith. What truly amazed me is how she shows the unresolved stress, guilt, anger, or trauma can literally manifest as physical disease. So when she reads someone's energy, she's picking up those imbalances before they even become full blown illness. It's like she's blending spirituality and medicine in the most fascinating way. Honestly, reading this made me look at health on such a deeper level, not just about fixing symptoms, but understanding what's going on in your soul. Totally game changing. You should definitely read that book if you want to look at life from a much deeper perspective. Alright, as we're talking about energies and auras, let me be a little bit more relatable. You know how sometimes you walk into a room and you instantly feel the vibe? Like, you don't even have to talk to the person, you just feel drained or uplifted around them. That's because every person has an electromagnetic field. That's the aura. There's another fascinating study that I came across. In 1992, Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted experiments on water crystals. He exposed water to different words, music, and emotions, then froze the water and observed the crystals under a microscope. Positive words like love and gratitude created beautiful symmetrical crystals. Negative words created chaotic, distorted ones. Now, why does this matter? Because your body is made up of 70% water. If energy, words, and intention can literally change the molecular structure of water, imagine what your thoughts and emotions are doing to your own body every single day. You know what? This reminds me of my mom. I want to really pause and dedicate this moment, heart filled with gratitude towards my mom, because she really shaped me into the person that I am today. She planted the seeds of spirituality, manifestation, you name it, every single thing that led me to a positive direction. She is the root cause behind it. Even though she didn't know the fancy scientific terms to back her mentality with, she led me into such a beautiful path ever since I was a child that really changed the whole trajectory of my whole life. She used to tell me, Nanu, पानी खाँदाखेरि पानीमा वाइब्स हालेर खाऊ, पानीले तिम्रो बडीमा डिफ्रेन्टली रियाक्ट गर्छ जब तिमी त्यो काम गर्छौ. Meaning, she used to tell me, put good vibes in the water before you drink each time and see how differently it reacts in your body compared to when you don't put any vibes in your water. I mean, thinking back then, I was very little, a child, and it did not make any sense to me. But I just did it because of my mom. But now, thinking back about it, it just blows my mind because I have all these resources, the world in my hand, but she had nothing. But even with her limited information, she made sure I was on the right path. So, mom, if you're listening to this, I am really grateful to be born as your daughter. I'll make sure to utilize every bit of knowledge and wisdom you've planted in me and make sure to polish it even better. Coming back to the topic, there's something that honestly frustrates me a lot. A lot of modern spirituality, whether it's yoga, chakras, meditation, or even the whole idea of raising your vibrations, comes directly from Sanatan Dharma, which is the eternal philosophy of existence. But somewhere along the way, the Western world commercialized it, stripped it of its depth, and sometimes even dismissed it as superstition. For example, when people say manifestation is just positive thinking, without realizing that the original teachings were much more profound, tied to karma, dharma, and the alignment of self with universal energy. You know what? It's almost ironic. Practices like meditation and breathwork are being packaged today as modern wellness trends, when in reality, they come from ancient wisdom that understood the energy of life deeply. Sanatan Dharma taught thousands of years ago, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. That means, as is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. Meaning, what exists within you exists in the universe. Science today calls it fractals or the holographic principle, but the roots, they were already in these ancient texts. And guess what? There's this mind blowing science study that basically says the atoms in our bodies were once cruising through the intergalactic space. Like the carbon, oxygen, iron, you name it, all got flung out of the Milky Way when giant stars blasted apart in supernova, then drifted across galaxies, and finally circled back in our little cosmic neighborhood to form new solar systems. And half of the atoms in us could have come from outside our own galaxy. Like, how wild is that? Even more incredible, researchers mapped over 1,500,000 stars and found that the elements making up our human bodies, those heavy hitters, the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, are everywhere in the Milky Way. Basically, we are made of star stuff is not just poetic, it's literally true. And that basically means we are cosmic travelers. Before you even existed, your atoms might have been on a multi million year road trip through space. That totally reframes what it means to be human. Like we're part of this grand universe wide recycling program. Every time I think about it, I just feel so wow. We are really connected to everything out there. It's just the most mind expanding thing ever to even come across to. Here's one more piece of research that completely blew my mind. The Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab conducted experiments for almost 30 years on how human intention can affect random number generators. They found that when people focused their intention, the machines would deviate from randomness. In other words, your mind can influence matter. Now pause and connect this back. Ancient wisdom said the mind shapes reality. Quantum physics says observation collapses probability into reality. Experiments shows intention can alter machines. These all things can't be coincidence. It's a universal truth being uncovered layer by layer. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from today's episode, it's this. Energy is life. It's not just spiritual. It's not just scientific. It's the bridge between the two. Everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your body, you name it, every single thing. And once you understand that, life stops being random. You begin to see how much power you really have. So let me ask you this. If everything is energy, if your thoughts, your emotions, your body, all are vibrating at a frequency, then what are you vibrating right now? Are you vibrating stress, joy, gratitude? Because here's the secret. What you vibrate, you attract. Nikola Tesla, the genius inventor, once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." And that's exactly what this entire conversation is about. So today, we have gone from quantum to the cosmic, from chakras to auras, from ancient Sanatan Dharma to modern neuroscience. And the conclusion is simple but powerful. Energy isn't some mystical side topic. It's the blueprint of life itself. When you understand that, you stop seeing yourself just as a body or a mind. You see yourself as a field of energy that can be tuned, healed, and elevated. And once you shift your vibration, your entire reality begins to shift with it. My hope is that this episode sparks something inside you. Maybe curiosity, maybe awareness, maybe even just a realization that you're so much more than you thought you were. You are not just existing. You are literally made out of magic, and I hope you realize that. Just in case you needed to hear it, I can already see your soul signing. So just be an uncased mind and sign even brighter. I'll see you all next week with some more amazing and informative topic covered. Until then, take care and I love you.